So I want to talk about lab work real quickly because I see this so commonly and it really bugs me. I'm going to hide whose this is. It's a consult today. But I would recommend that you request a copy of your lab work anytime it's but the other reason I want you to do that is because when you get lab work, it'll say what the normals are, and then it will say whether it's high or low. And if something is really out of whack and you've already talked to the technician or doctor at the practice and they've given you the results of the lab work and they tell you, oh, everything is normal, it all looks good, you can look at it and go, whoa, wait a minute. That doesn't look normal to me. Now, if it's off by 1/10 of a point, if it's less than a 1% deviation and they called it normal, we're probably going to call that normal. But if you've got something that is really out of whack, you might want to call back and say, hey, when I talked to the doctor, the staff, whoever, they told me everything looked good. I'm seeing this number that is really out of whack. So I've got it highlighted here so it's easy to see. But this was reported as normal to the owner. And particularly this number over here, the platelet count, which normal is, I think on this one, like 170,000 to 400,000. This animal's platelet count is 64,000. That's not normal. That is way low. That is potentially a very big problem. I would be concerned. Is this autoimmune disease? Is this an animal whose body is attacking its platelets and killing them off? Is this an animal whose bone marrow isn't making platelets? What the heck is going on? Is there a bleeding disorder somewhere that's causing them to use up the platelets? I don't think so because the red cell count's okay. But there's something going on. And so if I were the owner and I got this lab result, I'd say, you know what? Let's do another blood draw. Let's do a comparison. Let's see if that's real or if it was an artifact. Now, the doctor may have seen that. The doctor may have overlooked that number, or the doctor may have seen that number, and there's a little note from the lab that says, a few small platelet clumps observed, which may falsely lower the platelet count and estimate. Well, they're saying the estimate is decreased. I want to know, is that real? Or is that an artifact? And when they're saying a few small platelet clumps, and I have previous lab work for this animal where the platelet count was, so a month earlier, the platelet count was 261,000. Now, if it went from 261,000 down to 64,000 in a month, that's a problem. That's a big problem. I want to know, is that real or is that an artifact? So if you get a copy of the lab work, that gives you the chance to have a good day, Hugh WD-40. That's from